And now, the story of an expansionist military empire that lost everything, and the one guy convicted of murder who just kept murdering people?
Hey, Crow, what the fuck is this game?
It's Arrested Combat.
Bad news for us here at the prison. The enemy fell for our decoy base. With all the fake planes and trucks we had out, it must have looked to them like the Ocean Air Force was about to go on the attack. Day after day after day after day, they bombed us. Osea didn't give a damn. We weren't soldiers to them, so go ahead. Bomb us. In their eyes, we were expendable. Worth less than the fake planes in the bunkers. No biggie. While I made fake planes, they had me put together some working ones. Then, some genius at HQ decided we should send it up, so the base looked legit. Thankfully, we had people to crew them. It didn't matter what we were locked up here for anymore. Top brass needed pilots, and criminals were all they had. A crook, a gambler, an anarchist. Just your typical lowlifes. They threw each one of them in a cockpit and sent them up to intercept the enemy's planes. But in the end, it was all just for show. So, up they went, day after day after day. Today they tossed someone new into the mix. Wonder what he did to get sent here. My dad died flying for the Ocean Air Force. When your allies are surrounded, one of the most dangerous missions is giving them cover to retreat. Whoever signed up for that was a real hero. But even more dangerous than that was being the one who had to cover the rear guard's retreat. That was my dad's job, and one time, he called it off. Said it was too late for him. Said anyone else would have done the same. I found that out from a war buddy of his when he came to tell me how my dad died. The next time a retreat happened, my dad volunteered to be in the rear guard. Dumbass. He died all right. No one came to help. The news nearly broke me. Of all the ways to get killed, that's gotta be the most pathetic one ever. Am I right? There's a rumor going around about another inmate. A guy they brought here a little while ago. Get this, Talk in the cell block says he was sent here because he killed Harling, the president of Osea during the last war, remember? He's the one that sent my dad on that suicide mission. He's the reason I had to go live with my grandpa, and why me and Gramps started building a supersonic jet. He's the reason I ended up here. Maybe I should give that guy a thank you note for killing him. Nah. God, I hate the smell of this place. It's all fake and lies and bullshit. It reeks.
All right, guys, I'll let you in on some juicy info. The new guy was found guilty by the International Union Peacekeeping Forces court-martial. He is the murderer of Harling in the flesh. His TAC name's Trigger. Now, as of today, he may be attached to the Ocean Air Force Base 444th Squadron. But that is just some symbolic bullshit. It doesn't really matter if he's Harling's murderer or not. Every last one of you has been incarcerated for one reason or another. You cons have an obligation to atone for your crimes. A few of you in the penal unit know how to fly, and HQ needs to plug the deficit in our Air Force. So they proposed sending you guys on a reconnaissance mission to the Waiapolo Mountains. But that idea was flat out rejected. Nope. You'll be atoning for your crimes right here at this base. This base is a decoy designed to draw enemy fire. And as members of this base, you'll be taking hits from the enemy. This will allow our forces to safely prepare a counterattack.
Incoming!
Switch off that alarm. It's just the usual. I thought Zapland was supposed to be an isolated area. Okay, I'm gonna need a few aircraft to scramble.
Again? in solitary. Enemy aircraft detected over the dummy runway.
We just need to make it look like we can put up a fight. Some of those piles of junk can at least take off. Let's get the guiltiest cons in the sky first. We'll start with Harling's murderer. We don't expect you to down any bombers. But what we do want is to make them think that we've got an active base here.
Okay, so, yeah, you knew that the game definitely wasn't going to end with Trigger going to prison, but still, this seems like a really fucking stupid idea / way to continue justifying the plot, but anyway.
I mean, yeah, like giving convicts planes.
So, basically, yeah, welcome to plane jail.
I like that they're like, now we could send you off on this cool reconnaissance mission, but no, we're not doing that.
Oh god, yeah, like, this is one of the things I love about, like, Colonel Mackenzie, just not only as, like, just a character, but also, like, as your, like, briefing and debriefing guy, he's just constantly like, haha, fuck you.
Ah, yeah. Now, I did mention, like, when we were talking about this beforehand, that there are some comparisons to be made here. The idea of being sent to a unit of, like, disgraced military people in order to do basically, like, prisoner-type missions. How familiar are you with Valkyria Chronicles?
Not all that much, honestly.
Well, alright, so Valkyria Chronicles 3 is about a clandestine special forces unit made entirely of people who are basically like the rejects of the military for some reason or another.
So it's kind of going for the same Dirty Dozen feel that the plane jail arc of 7 is going for, then.
Very much so. Like, everybody has their own little subplots where they have to resolve various issues they have, or they have to deal with the things that got them sent to prison in the first place, etc., etc. You know the deal.
I'm just gonna go out on a limb here and say I don't think there's gonna be much of that happening in 7, but we'll see.
I mean, so far we haven't even seen what our squad mates look like. They're just like voices in a briefing.
Yeah. Oh god, yeah, we're gonna meet them in spades coming up soon. But anyways, I figured, like, since this is the start of the plane jail arc and basically Trigger is just, like, the absolute lowest of the low in terms of just being shit on by everyone, I figured, like, the 444 base would have given him, like, the crappiest, oldest plane they could have possibly scrounged up, which in this case is the F-104 Starfighter.
Follow orders, Trigger. Taxi to the right.
Also because I like a challenge.
Just how crappy is this plane?
Control, would you kindly send me up first?
I mean, it's pretty decent, but it is kind of a joke plane in the game.
This is the control tower. You're not cleared for takeoff. Obey orders. Go to hell. All aircraft.
And now we already see the problem with plane jail.
Yep.
Take up command. Any objections? That'll get decided in the skies.
Yeah, everyone is a self-serving asshole.
Trigger, your call sign is Spare 15.
I mean, seriously, what's stopping them from just turning right around and bombing their superiors and then trying to, like, fly off to parts unknown?
We get an explanation coming up right now for the first part of that, at least. So you can see here, all of our ammo counts are in the red, and it says weapons disabled, so the FCS is locked, so we can't fire anything.
Okay, so they have some kind of remote lockout that they can do?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Spare 15. Takeoff confirmed. Altitude restriction lifted. Go.
And also, it would probably be very easy to, like... Yeah, the count just says here, FCS is locked, so you can't even fire anything. But yeah, basically, I'm also guessing that, you know, yeah, sure, you could probably book it and run, but they'd probably send, like, real aircraft or real military aircraft after you to shoot you down.
Well, I mean, they also were talking about some kind of altitude restriction. Maybe if they can lock your weapons, they could also just lock down your instruments and make you just go... Pew!
No, unfortunately, they don't have kill switches in here, but Yeah, the altitude restriction, that's just a normal part of, like, the military takeoffs and landings, like,
Make them think there's fighters at the base.
like, every takeoff that happens in the game, like, the second you completed it goes, like, altitude restriction canceled.
One more thing. Any aircraft leaving the operation...
I'm liking these kind of sensory effects here, like getting like dew on your screen and also having lens flares when you're looking into the sun. When was this game made?
I think they started making it in, like, 2015 or so, but yeah, it came out 2019.
And it looks dazzling. Like those shots of the airplanes on the runway, you could have almost sworn they were like a picture instead of like a rendered graphics.
Oh yeah, like there's a bunch of like CGI cutscenes in the game too, and like I know they definitely like they use like real like photography like composition for certain shots, but there does come a point where like you kind of start to question, okay, what was the real live action stuff they filmed and what was the CG stuff?
Trying to kill me.
Shall I order them to shoot down all?
Anyways, so about the actual mission itself.
Yeah, so the Erusians are bombing the shit out of the actual base now, so maybe we should probably start trying to defend it.
That seems like a decent idea.
Yeah, like, you know, I'm cool if, like, Mackenzie, I don't know, takes a stray bomb and just fucking dies, but, yeah, unfortunately, I don't think the Ocean military would be cool with that, so...
Dance to your line, too.
I'll show you all how it's done.
So this Count fellow here, he seems like he's got some pretensions of leadership.
Just a tiny bit.
Bandit on my tail.
He's also a huge-ass liar, too.
Well, I mean, that kind of comes with the territory.
Yeah, the irony is basically, yeah, his call sign is Count, and yet it's clear just like listening to him over the radio, like when it comes to his like kill reporting and stuff, that yeah, he actually can't count.
I like it.
So yeah, here just.
I'm betting that report will get dressed up real pretty.
But also, yeah, he's in prison basically for committing fraud and impersonating like a nobleman. So again, they gave him the nickname Count because like that's the crime he was basically convicted of.
So I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that Tabloid then is a dirty reporter.
Anarchist actually.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah. And you don't really get or find out like what Champ and High Roller are in for, but I'm guessing Champ is probably like a dirty boxer who probably killed or grievously injured someone in the ring.
And Full Band?
3 scratches, right trigger? Well,
Beats the fuck out of me, but I'm guessing hacking because that's his big thing in the game. It's just like, ooh, I've hacked into like this database and learned this thing now, like...
Ah. So what you mean is that he just types very fast in front of a computer and then he's like, yeah, I've hacked the internet.
Basically.
About what period of time would you say this game is meant to be in, like, in terms of, like, an analog to our own time? It seems like we're using a lot of very modern-ish aircraft.
Yeah, like, this is the one Ace Combat game that actually takes place in the year it was released, so, yeah, this is set in 2019 in Strange Real Time.
Strange Real being the, world this is set in?
Yeah.
a monkey could do this work. Anyone up for some poker tonight?
Ah, I think High Roller, I think I get what his deal is.
Yep. Yeah, there's certain members of Spare Squadron where just they wear their characterization on their sleeve, whereas others, we're gonna have a little bit more time to dig into what really makes them tick here and there over various missions.
Uh-huh. It is actually kind of interesting, like all these, what would you call somersaults or whatever you're doing in midair? Like...
Yeah, basically like loops and like Emelman turns.
I'm kind of surprised that these rundown crappy aircraft don't stall out when you're trying stuff like this.
Oh god, yeah, well... Again, there's a... I don't know if we talked over it or not, but there's a line in this mission about, like... I think, like, Tabloid says, like, you know, like... God, that mechanic, like, really is able to just make miracles out of these planes, so just the explanation is that, like... Again, just Avril has, taken, like, all of these planes and just, like, worked her mechanical magic on them, so, like, they can do shit like this, even though, yeah, this thing should probably be, like, flying apart right now.
More or less. Like, I'm not very knowledgeable about planes, but what I do know is that, unless you're really good, you can absolutely just kill your momentum in midair and just go, you know.
Basically, I mean, the physics in game have gotten to the point where, like, you can actually do that now in, like, a regular ace combat if you just, like, tilt the plane in one direction and just hold the brakes, you'll just fall right out of the sky.
Mm-hmm. Of course, in my case, all I got to fly for a little bit was a Cessna.
Trigger, don't get shot down now.
And
well, still, just hands-on experience.
Yeah. It was only for maybe like a minute or two, and the actual pilot had his hands on the controls pretty much all the time, so... Yeah. It was basically just playing around. Like, I have actually been in a flight simulator, though. Like one of those real ones where they actually tilt the cage in order to simulate flight.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Like... Like you have to actually turn the thing off if people are coming in too hard, because you can shake so hard it can actually knock people off their feet.
Oh god.
This is a pretty nice ride. Instrument service pretty good. Can't believe these things used to be scrapped. Just what kind of magic does she have?
Ah, there's the line.
Yeah.
That's the one you were talking about, yeah.
Loyalty or something. That's because she's the scrap queen. Queen? More like a bad-tempered tomboy.
So why are they bombing this part of the area anyway?
Basically, this is a decoy base to, like, they put a bunch of, like, literal, like, fake planes and trucks and everything just here out in the open. So, like, they just keep goading the Erusians to come here and just bomb the crap out of it to take the heat off, like, the actual Osean forces that are elsewhere across the continent.
Maybe even all of them. That was tough luck, Tabloid. Spare 15, don't take all the fun away from your comrades.
It's like they mention it like a couple of times, like in like either like certain briefings or like in this mission where just like, God, like I can't believe they keep bombing this base. Shouldn't they have figured out that it's all fake by now?
2 targets remaining.
So why is it exactly that we decided to, you know, actually shoot at them instead of just letting them do the bombing?
The base seems to be doing the trick.
Because now they've like started bombing like the actual real infrastructure of the base instead of just like the fake runway that they've set up.
Oh, okay. Still though, why would you put the real base next to the fake base?
Look, people in this universe are dumb, okay?
In position behind Bandit.
Man, flying is really changed in video games. Like, I was playing TIE Fighter the other day, and just doing a simple thing like a roll was honestly kind of sluggish in the combat system. No offense to
God, yeah.
No offense to TIE Fighter. Like, it's an amazing game for its time, but you can definitely tell like there are a few limitations to it.
Well, there's a mod now that you can get for X-Wing Alliance that it's a TIE Fighter total conversion. So, like, it basically, it turns the game into TIE Fighter, and from what I've seen, it's actually pretty good.
Yeah, I've been looking at that one. I recently got a flight stick in order to do flying games, so I've been looking for something that could be, you know, actually useful with it.
Because it's done by the same people who did the X-Wing Alliance upgrade project, which was the thing that I used for the X-Wing Alliance, like, little bonus video for the Shadows of the Empire LP.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just gotten some incredible work done on it in just the last couple of years, where, like, even what appears in that video, like, it's already, like, just completely outstripped like, even that level of quality.
Very interesting. By the way, weren't they saying, like, I don't know, like 5-10 minutes ago that there was only three targets remaining?
Oh yeah, then the second wave spawned in. Oh, then again, also, what this game designates as targets and what it doesn't, also, Jesus, how fast is this thing going that it's, like, evading, like, straight-up, manual tracking missiles? But anyways, yeah, the distinction between, like, white targets, which don't matter, and then the red targets, which do matter.
The last escort is down. The bombers are ripe for the...
I get you.
So
like, they're sort of like, small minions or whatever that just serve as distractions from the real objectives.
Also, look at these chumps just hounding this thing, not doing a damn thing, and then I have to come behind them.
All targets confirmed eliminated.
Does this do the Call of Duty thing where they pretend to help but they don't actually do anything at all?
Kind of waffles back and forth. Like, in later missions, yeah, the AI is actually, like, really, really good, and even in especially the DLC, like, they're actually pretty damn good, but right now, yeah, no, they all fucking suck.
Dies while landing. Then you win. So, what? You're not done? Just checking.
They really love one another.
15, this is the control tower. Make your landing check.
Okay, so great, now I can't fuck this up or someone's gonna lose a hell of a lot of money.
Permission to land. Wind conditions are calm.
Wait, you actually have to land the plane?
I mean, it's an optional sequence, but I figured, like, every time the game tells you to land the plane, I'm gonna land the plane, also because, you get a special bit of dialogue at the end of this that's really funny if you do it properly.
You're past the guidance limit. Make a visual landing.
Steady.
There we go.
Right. Stand by for your next sortie.
I lost a lot of money for that trigger. Don't forget.
Did I say you could take down the enemy? Throw anyone who disobeys into solitary.
Thanks, Colonel.
Wow. Some gratitude that was.
Yep.
Well, I guess our plane jail continues.